We are on the lunch break in the first day of questioning of the undercover police officer HN118, who used the cover name Simon Wellings to infiltrate Globalized Resistance, Dissent, and various other groups. This morning, since the morning break, he has been questioned almost exclusively about the fake bomb vest plot stunt thing, which he maintains that he was 100% sure was something that MT had concocted and told him about. He added a number of new details that don't exist in any of his contemporaneous reports from the time. What did you make of what he had to say? I'm joined by Guy Taylor, who we mentioned quite extensively in this.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny actually because he didn't mention any of the new stuff or the new concoctions until he was told that I had said it was someone completely different. Now, it's interesting because there's two other witnesses before now who have said it was someone completely different, including MT himself. I mean, like, when he's hit with those evidence, he'll probably make up more shit about it. But basically, yeah, I think he was really shocked, actually. He said he hadn't seen my evidence or read my statement and hadn't seen anything from before now, which I kind of believe. He's just hopelessly unprepared. But the fact of the matter is, as soon as he heard that, you know, we were spreading doubt on his claim that he's played a major role in dissuading MT from doing this crazy stunt, that he started making up new stuff like another further conversation outside the pub on that evening. And taking it a bit further, and he's just doubling down. And I think he is one of those people that finds it very easy to make up a new story to back himself up.
He does. I mean, there was a couple of tells I felt in the fact that his story was a complete concoction. He kept sort of liberally kind of adding in like minor details. He went off topic to another incident that had happened and started putting extra details in there. He talked about how uncharacteristic it was for MT to do this. That was very different from anything else he'd ever done, to sort of explain away why it was such a ridiculous story in the first place. I was left in no doubt that he was talking absolute horseshit. We can only hope that the chair kind of sees through this nonsense as well. But I mean, it was before we got to his confirmation that he was 100% sure it was MT. He'd given himself an out by going that, you know, he'd never seen these reports before. He had just given the raw information over the phone, and these reports have been typed up. And I was like, oh, he's about to say, oh no, I never said it was MT. They've clearly concocted this in the office, but he didn't. He was absolutely standing by the reports. Yeah, I mean, it's hard. I mean, I think up until now he has been quite good at sort of presenting himself as a reasonable witness who did the job as he was asked to. I think this undermines his credibility right across the board, really.
It does. I'm worried about if he's going to be believed by the chair, really. I mean, like that's the crucial thing in an inquiry. The really interesting thing is he has distanced himself from a lot of his own source comments in reports, and actually spread doubt upon the accuracy of so many reports. You know, kind of, he's claiming they're things which have been re-reported after his original report. He says one step removed from him, and therefore, you know, what he used the term poetic license had been added. Which is quite incredible, actually, from a police unit, which is meant to be professional.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, we have seen throughout the history of the unit that there was a lot of in-jokes and nonsense, essentially, added in these reports. For the vast majority of the times, it seemed very clear that was coming from the reporting officer, not from anybody else. I mean, in this case, he's doing something we've heard other undercover officers do, of blaming the person who typed up the reports for any of the inaccuracies. But I mean, yeah, he's distancing himself from the plain language. I mean, there was stuff in quotes. You know, this claim that MT was hoping that a top pig would lose his job over this, and he said, oh, that's not something that MT would ever say. He was like, well, quite obviously. I mean, I've heard MT give evidence. I do not think he's likely to use that sort of terminology. And he's obviously very aware that the chair wouldn't believe him if he said that was what was said. So he distanced himself from it. And when it was said, oh, it's poetic license, and then it's also, oh, it's been made up. Oh, I wouldn't say it was made up. And it was like, well, one way or the other, mate. You've got to choose one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he wants it both ways. But I think he's going to be hit by the evidence from Noel Douglas and the evidence from MT after lunch. So I don't think he's going to be watching this. So I don't think there's any danger. But I think he's going to be quite shocked by that because I think he started to believe it. He's one of those people who starts believing his own stories and trying to kind of live those stories and therefore be able to report them as true. So I think he's kind of painted himself into a corner. But I do think that there is a chance of very gentle questioning or very a very I don't know what the word is, but not gullible, but someone. I think the chair might give him benefit of the doubt. I don't know. I don't know how his mind works, but we really do need to see a few more clangers dropped, and I think he'll be toast. But I'm not sure how these things work. So
yeah, I mean, certainly the chair will not make a decision for quite some time. He'll weigh the balance of evidence that has been presented before him over the full length of the inquiry hearings. It may be that he'll make a decision based on some stuff that we think's really not really relevant, but who knows. I think in terms of the approach of the counsel of the inquiry, as you say, it's a lot more gentle than anything maybe seasoned inquiry watchers have come to expect from David Barr, KC, who's done the majority of the questioning of undercover officers. I think there's a lot to be. I mean, I don't want to look too much into body language and so forth, but I mean, I do think there has been a marked change in the way in which Simon Wellings is presenting himself when we got to this question about MT and the fake bomb vest stunt. The way he's talking isn't as fluid. He's leaning much further forward. He looks noticeably concerned. I mean, I think
he had his hand over his mouth when told about the fact that I said it was someone completely different. So I mean, he's obviously shocked and surprised by it. I shouldn't be surprised, right? But I mean, he's shocked to know that we're challenging him, and I don't know what he's expecting here. Just for us to say, everything he says is correct. I mean, it's just been mad, but that's what's happening.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't find it credible that he wasn't aware of your evidence to the inquiry and hasn't read your written statement. I mean, it was pointed out at the start of the process that he was familiar with what the inquiry was doing, that he'd been following it. These are detail-orientated professional police officers who are going through a public inquiry.
True, yeah.
The idea that you wouldn't be fully briefed just doesn't seem seems really unlikely to me. There've been a few anecdotes that he's given today that I think were wholly uncredible, particularly his stories about how he rebuffed sexual advances. I don't know if you were here for that section.
I did. I was busy this morning.
Right.
I couldn't make it for that bit. But, I read them in your tweets, and I was thinking,
he did this thing of adding in lots of color and minor details of the incident to sort of make it sound more believable. Which I mean, it's just a hallmark of an experienced liar. I mean, obviously, all these men, by their very definition, are con men. They're professional con men. Lying is their currency. So it's no wonder that there's a lot of lies in what they say, even when they're under oath. But I think that his insistence that he's 100% sure that it was MT who did this fake bomb vest stunt plan. I think it's going to be his undoing, quite frankly, because I don't think it stands up. I don't think it stands up at all. I don't think that the sequence of the way the reports have been filed, the fact that he's added the information much later on that he now claims he heard right at the beginning, somehow that he hadn't delivered those details at the beginning, the way he's added more details now, 20 odd years later, when it's brought up in the inquiry that he didn't put in his reports at the time. I mean, this is something we've seen numerous undercover officers try and do around details of these spurious plots, like the James Thompson with the Operation Lime, like Carlos Haraki with the bombing of the charity shop, like Bob Lambert with the firebombing of Debenhams. Details that if they really were these open microphones that they claim, which I believe that they were told to be open microphones and report everything they heard. I believe that. Why didn't they include these details that they're now adding? To me, that's a sign that this is entirely made up.
Well, Wellings prided himself on his volume of reports, didn't he?
Yes.
4,000 he claims over 7 years and whatever. So I mean that's a lot of reporting, especially if you're going to leave out huge chunks like that. That conversation outside the pub sounds like today that it was absolutely pivotal in the whole story.
Yes,
but
not mentioned at all.
No mention. And it was, even the existence of the of the bomb vest. I mean, that is one. We didn't get any disclosure about any mention at all about the bomb vest until 1 week before I gave evidence. Right. There's two other reports during this evidence this week and last. Two other reports that come to light which mention the bomb vest. One I've just heard, just seen for the first time in Wellings' evidence, and the one which came to light in MT's evidence last week. So it's three reports which are absolutely concern me personally, but globalised resistance in general. And the inquiry hasn't released them. And I think at least one of them mentions me. I think all three might. I can't remember. But there was no attempt to kind of share that with us in advance. So it's been very difficult to kind of prepare things for this inquiry. And I think it's a real lack of care and attention on the part of the inquiry. But nevertheless, we've had that, and we can certainly. Yes. We can certainly I can't push through that and make it make sense, because we just have to react very quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean it's ridiculous, really, the way in which the inquiry has left such important details such last minute. It's very frustrating and like a difficult way for core participants to engage with the inquiry. No wonder so many people. I don't blame anybody who decided not to engage with the inquiry. It doesn't, it seems stupid. The way that we're being treated in terms of that kind of thing. There's still a lot more to come in terms of the questioning of Simon Wellings. We've only got 2 days of him, so I mean we're 25% through everything that he can be asked. What are you hoping to hear from him this afternoon?
Well, I would like to see the rest of the afternoon on the MT situation, to be honest with you, because that is absolutely central to the whole thing. I mean, I'm sure he was very glad to spend the whole morning talking about his preparations and all the stuff before he even got into the field, basically, which I think was, that stuff should be examined and it should be in there, but it shouldn't be a quarter of the whole time. I mean, it should be a sixth or an eighth of it, because he should be up there for a darn sight longer than 2 days. But I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for a look at. I detailed so many lies that he put in his evidence in my statement. I think if we could see a little bit of coverage of that. His reporting on people's personal details and relationships, I'd like to see some of that. And I'd like to see him really pushed on the veracity of his reporting.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that really came up, this thing about having 4,000 reports. When we saw the 15th of July 2003, there's like 4 or 5 reports that day, some of which were like he said, he even admitted himself, information that was already known. That's just been repackaged, which is MT's phone number. That's a report by itself. No wonder he hit 4,000 reports if we're getting, these multiple on the same day, which are just clearly from the same phone conversation.
I think there's 3 reports about me that is just my phone number. It's just, if you multiply that up, that's quite a large percentage, really. So, that's the type of shit he wrote. Yeah,
maybe he really isn't as prolific as he's trying to make out. What are you making of him as a witness? I mean, does he remind you of the man that you used to know?
He doesn't really. I mean, he's got the same voice.
Right. Yeah.
He's dreadfully boring, isn't he? Really boring. Much more boring than anyone else I've seen at this whole thing.
Does he say "gee whiz"?
He did say "gee whiz." I've forgotten completely about that, but as soon as he said it here, I thought, that's him. I haven't heard him say loads of stuff like that yet, but which was a bit of a catchphrase of his. Maybe he's grown out of it. I don't know. I was interested to see that his cover age was less than his actual age.
Very common. I think the majority of undercover officers did this. I mean, we've always believed it was an opportunity so they could sleep with younger women. Right. But I think the idea, apparently, according to, I forget which, one of the other undercover officers, was that your backstory didn't need to be as long. that you did what you've been doing with your life was that bit shorter. That you didn't. I mean, if he was claiming to be 30, he was actually 35. That's 5 years of his life he didn't have to explain away by a legend.
Oh, I thought it was just because he was more stupid than a 35-year-old could be. So tried to claim it differently, but fair enough. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it doesn't make a great deal of sense. No, none of the comments are real. Well, yeah. Anything else you'd like to add about what you've made of him?
Not at the moment. But I'm hoping for a lot more to come out.
Yeah,
I think
we all
it
are.
could be quite interesting.
I mean, it's a painfully slow process, isn't it? It does feel like, I mean, there was over an hour just on this one topic. And as you say, I mean, Don Ramble said that he hasn't finished with the topic yet. When we do come back after lunch, there will be a private session that will relate to information that is there's a reporting restriction overall. I can't even actually refer to what it might be. There were a number of breaches today. These were privacy breaches. So it's about protecting the identity of someone with anonymity, which, I mean, I got the impression that he knew full well what he was doing when he kept mentioning a certain detail that would identify someone. But yeah, I mean, so very frustrating. It means that we lose quite a lot of time in terms of what's in the broadcast. That audio will not be put back in. We've lost for good, from what I understand. Very frustrating. The only way really to follow things as they happen is by following on Twitter using the hashtag SpyCops. You'll see from myself and others who are in the room what is being said. But thanks for joining us. Anything else?
Not at the moment. We've waited 22 years for this, and now let's make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll do another video during the afternoon break. Bye for now.
Right, food.